Hey guys, so today we are going to take this to the next step. So we're going to start adding our facial features. So we're going to start actually with the ear on the side. It's probably the most simple thing we're going to draw today. And then we're going to work our way to our nose, our mouth, and then we'll add some details back in our eyes today. All right, so for the ear, you want to make sure that it's between here and here. So this line and this line, so the line that's in the middle of your eye, and then the next line down, which will be your nose line. Okay. We're going to start from that line and where it meets the side of your head, and we're going to go up. We're almost going to draw almost like the side of a heart. Okay, so kind of picture that shape, but we don't want to make it super big. It's actually going to be long and skinny, a long and skinny heart, and then it's going to round out as it comes down and meets back here at this line, okay? So again, up, over, down, and then round that back out. And then the only other thing that we have to do with that ear is basically just repeat that same thing one more time inside. So this kind of helps create that depth inside your ear, the cartilage of the side of your ear right here. If you have your ears pierced like I do and you want to add that hole, or I have 2 holes, then you will go ahead and mark those in. That will help to remind you to add in your earrings later on. Okay? All right, so that is our ear. We're going to move on to our nose. Now remember that everybody looks differently. We're making a very generic, say, self-portrait. You're going to get to add your flair and change some things in a little bit. We're all going to kind of start with the same blueprint of our face before we start making adjustments. So the next thing we're going to do is work on our nose. Now the nose is sort of the weirdest thing we're going to do. It sounds too easy and too good to be true, but I promise you that it works just fine because we don't ever really want to draw attention to our nose. We just want it to be there so that nobody forgets we have one. All right. So I'm gonna actually zoom in. We are going to work on the nose next. Come closer. Okay, so our nose is gonna fall in this zone right here. Okay, we're gonna make what I call like a salad bowl or a popcorn bowl. Think like a big wide bowl in your house, but that sits this way. So we're making half of a bowl because that other half would be on that other side. Okay, and then from that bowl, raised up in this zone right here, so not touching the line, it's going to be like a backwards C or like a closed parentheses right here. So it's kind of tipped a little bit, so you see that shape right there. And so bowl, backward C. Notice that nothing is touching in this section right here. That's important. The only place that it really touches is here and then right here. But there's this kind of sliver triangle here with no touching. That's super important. That's going to just help shape your nose out a little better. Okay, so then that's it for the nose. And I know that sounds super easy, but that's really it. Okay, we're going to slide down here to our mouth next. Now this one is tricky because kind of like the nose where we were settling on this line, we're going to settle on this line as well. So this is actually where the bottom of your bottom lip is going to rest. It's not the middle. So the only time we actually were using the middle is up here for the eye. Okay, I like to say leave about a pencil space distance between the bottom of your nose and where the top of your lip will be. So kind of keep that in mind as we go. But we're actually going to start with the bottom of our bottom lip. And we are going to make another salad bowl-like shape, but this time it's going to come all the way close but not touching that dashed line. This dashed line is like hot lava. If we get too close to it, you're going to end up looking like the Joker from Batman and have this like super big wide smile. So we don't want that. We want it just to get kind of between the nose and where that line is. So we're between these 2 lines. This is kind of where you should stop. So this nice subtle curve up this way. And then remember I talked about that pencil space. So this is where we're going to add in, I'm making like the tiniest little upward curve, and then I'm going to come back down, and I'm going to meet and almost cross through the other line that I drew. See, it almost looks like a fishtail right here. Okay, no big deal at all. Notice how it's very subtle. I didn't make this huge diagonal, just a little up and a little bit down. Okay, from there then we're going to split our lips. And we need that top lip to be slightly skinnier than our bottom lip. Our bottom lip tends to be much larger. Not much larger, but for some people, it appears a lot larger than the bottom lip. So we're actually just going to kind of make a very subtle upward smile or upward curve, I should say. And then we kind of skinny out and go out to the side. Now we're not done because this looks a little funky over here. We're going to clean this up. So good, it's going to go off to the side. And now this is when we're going to do a little bit of cleaning up and erasing. We're going to actually erase a little bit of this bottom edge here. And we're going to leave that kind of pointy connection here because it's going to be where that mouth kind of disappears off to the side here. And then we're going to kind of shave this in and lower it over there. But if it looks awkward and weird, mine's looking a little goofy, I might need to shave off a little bit more from the other side. Okay, that looks better. And you're going to ask, Mrs. Vance, why aren't we like smiling? We look kind of sad. Well, here's the thing. Smiles are really difficult to draw. Teeth are really difficult to draw. So we're not going to go that route, but I promise you, you won't look like super, super sad when we're done. You will look just fine. You will look like a kid. All right. So we've got ear, nose, mouth. We're going to move up here to the eye, and then that's going to be it for today. Okay, we are going to erase out the interior here. Okay, and then once we do that, we're ready to start formulating our eye. So we are going to make an eyelid first. That's going to be a parallel curve along the top edge, but inside, not outside. And pretty skinny. We don't want to look sleepy, so we don't want to have it too wide. Okay, so that's our eyelid. The next step is to add a C and a backward C, or a closed parentheses and parentheses in the corners, and that's going to represent your actual eyeball. So the corners are where your tear ducts are, and that is your actual eyeball. Okay, so this is all like skin and where your tears come out of, and the same thing over here in this corner. This middle section here is your actual white of your eye. So all we have left is the colored part of our eye and the black part of our eye. Who knows what that colored part is called? Typically, I would call on you in class and somebody would tell me. And no, it's not called the pupil. The colored part of your eye is called the iris. So how we're going to do that is we are going to very lightly do circle after circle after circle and a full circle. And then you're going to just kind of finally draw it in once you kind of get a map from your pencil going over and over and over. And then if you need to erase any because you got some in the eyelid, that's fine. But it's super important to do a full circle when you're making your iris. If you try to do it freehand, it's going to look like a U shape and it's not going to look normal. We want it to look nice and round because our irises are perfect circles, as are our pupils, which we're going to draw in next, and that's that black part. And it should be perfectly centered within your iris as much as possible. And I like to shade it in just to remind myself that it is black. Okay? So all of a sudden you have come to life. It is huge. It's amazing what eyes can do. That's why so many people are attracted to eyes, right? When you fawn over a famous celebrity or somebody who's really good looking, you say, oh my gosh, they have beautiful eyes. No one ever says they have a beautiful nose or things like that. Okay? So the eyes are what really make you come to life sometimes. All right, that is it for today. Tomorrow we will go over if you have glasses, eyebrows. We'll start talking about hair, but we're not going to go crazy yet because we need to get all of this symmetry transferred to the other side as well. Nice job today. Have a good one.